link to get your discount. Our mission at Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, is to fight to get you more. So far, we've recovered more than $15 billion in compensation for our clients. Users, you deserve more. More lawyers, more officers, and more support staff nationwide than any other injury law firm. Contact Morgan & Morgan today. Just dial pound line or visit forthepeople.com for an opportunity.
The crash is coming. You can feel it in your gut. According to Time magazine, major investors who predicted a 2008 crash see another on the way. Bloomberg predicts that the U.S. housing market looks headed for its worst slowdown in years. To hedge against it, there's only one asset that's safe, liquid, and has outperformed stocks 3-1. Rare coins. For insider access to coins with the greatest growth potential, there's only one place to go. Tangible Investments is America's top rare coin dealer, and its CEO, Phil DeCanova, is the undisputed expert on this private portable asset class. For over 35 years, Phil's coins have increased 10, 20, even 25 times. He's been featured on CNBC, the History Channel, and quoted in the Wall Street Journal. Get the only asset that safeguards your future while generating incredible gains. Sell Tangible Investments for a free investor kit. Copy of the award-winning documentary, Why Money Became Worthless. 800-711-2800. 800-711-2800. 800-711-2800. I never chose to become a gambling addict. But what I did see was to get help from protect myself. Admitting I was powerless to solve my problem, that opened the door. I thought I would be unprepared. Until I called 1-800-GAMBLER and was provided life-changing resources and referrals at zero cost to me.
For no-cost gambling addiction counseling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text support to 53342. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health. From 1909 to 1979, state-run hospitals in California performed thousands of sterilization procedures as part of the state's law. After 1979, this practice continued in some state prisons. If you were left unable to have biological children after surgery while living in a state-run facility or while in custody of a California prison, you may be entitled to compensation. For our confidential application, call 1-800-777-9229. Deadline to apply is December 31st, 2023.
You locked your cat up the tree?
Yeah, he's right up there. He's scared to come down.
Hang on, I'll get him for you.
Be careful, mister.
Thanks, kid. Here you go.
Where did he come from? And where's your mask and tape?
What? Oh, no, your mom and dad called us to clean out your shower drain.
What?
They were up a tree, too.
Really?
Your drain was really clogged, backing up, and we have to stop that nasty stuff from invading your bathroom.
So you're a hero?
Try to be every day. We're Rooter Heroes.
Wow.
We make sure you live in a safe, clean house. Go on.
Thanks for us being yours.
It's what a hero does.
If you know how to charge things, call Hero Hero coming in here. Go online at RiverHero.com.
To get more macroeconomics than the Federal Reserve and its interest rates, a recent run on a few banks and the general jittery zeitgeist in the financial world can directly be tied to rising interest rates. That's our household budgets this week. Macro with Jason Middleton this afternoon at 2 on KFR AM 640 and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. KFI AM 640 everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. This is How the Money. I'm Joel Larsard, and yes, Jason Middleton coming up in just a few minutes. And keep around for his macroeconomic analysis. I'm going for micro-econ, but I am going for what's going on in your world. And basically taking a step back. So he's doing a good job. I want to talk in just a second about spring cleaning your finance, but I wanted to mention, if you're one of the rarefied people with insane amounts of wealth, specifically tied up in your house, a new property tax on the sale of your home, starts April 1st. And so high-end homes in Los Angeles are going to, people that sell their homes for somewhere in the $5 to $10 million range, they're going to pay 4% city tax on those transactions. Homes that go for $10 million or more, city tax is 5.5%. So if you're that rarefied air, if you have a multi-million-dollar mansion for sale, kind of find someone to buy in the next 3 or 4 days to avoid a decent chunk of tax on that. that transaction. Just a quick little nugget there for you. I was talking about strengthening your finances with a few things I want you to do. These are great things to do once a year, not ongoing necessities in your personal finance life, but if you can do these once a year, that's good. All these things, I think it's going to be an option. Okay, one, update your budget. When is the last time you did that? You have to start with that. So it's like with inflation and changes to your personal spending that have occurred because of it, certain line items have likely gone up in your life, others might have gone down, but when was the last time you reflected off the budget? And you check to see kind of how things are going. You need some digital help with that. Why not? You need a budget. This is great. I would highly suggest people check that out. So I just need some help. I don't know how to do the budget on my own. Why not? You can help you get started. But it's a good idea to reassess. Where do things stand right now? If your kids just start playing soccer and now that costs $150 or something like that, those are the kind of things that are going to influence your budget. So take a look. Make sure there's room for it in there, and make sure you're cutting back elsewhere to make the room. 1 in 3 consumers say they're tempted to spend more this time of year because of the longer days and more sunlight. I get it. You're going to find me hanging out in the backyard drinking beer more than I would. Otherwise, because the next beautiful. Right? This part of spring, it just starts to get glorious. So, are you spending, like we talked about earlier, in ways that move the needle, or have you fallen into some bad habits? It's a great time in the spring to reassess your spending. Goes alongside with your budget. See what it's everything. It's not just saying where are we hitting March, but it says, oh, we're hitting toward the right. You don't need to prioritize that, but if you've got high interest debt, that's the thing. And I want you to be done with it. And if you don't have a plan, it's going to linger longer than you're going to want. Undebt.with, UNDEBT.IT is one of my favorites. Take pen to paper, create yourself spreadsheet, do it on your own. Or you can use this digital tool to help you come up with a debt payoff plan. So how many weeks is it going to take us to do it? Which direction do we need to go in? Which card do we need to pay off first? Which one has the higher interest rate? Which one has the lowest balance? Those are the kind of questions you're going to need to ask so you can come up with a debt payoff plan. But so when you come up with a plan, you're just going to get done. People coming up with a plan is harder than implementing. That's what I found. Most of us just don't want to do what it takes to get the plan together. And so you do some actual decluttering and then try to make money from the decluttering that you're doing. Sell some of those things in your life that you're getting rid of to make some extra cash. And if there are things that don't feel sellable or they're just too small from a monetary perspective, I don't individual shirts and stuff like that. I'm not usually selling those. I'm usually selling too much, right? Just because it's too much of a pain and the money's not really there. And so donate those, and then don't forget to get your tax receipt from Goodwill or wherever it is for donating your body. There are legitimate tax benefits to donating. I forget what the IRS says, but if you share men's jeans, something like it's worth $10 in their eyes. You don't know what you're giving away. You could be giving away hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of tax breaks, which is great. So do some actual decluttering, make some money, or get some tax breaks because of them. Next, roll over your old retirement account. Maybe because you forgot about them altogether. Oh, yeah, you do have that old retirement account. The spring is the perfect time to kind of start to consolidate things, get everything in one place. Another reason to do this is because you can cut down on fees in a major way. Your 401k might be with a company that's charging you way too much, and you've kind of forgotten about it, and your account is just lingering in outer space, getting fees to death, and you can bring it somewhere better. And so if you want an easy way to do that, there's a company that will actually help you move this 401k for free. I did it with my wife. If you can use like a notary sometimes, they could use a massive pain. And so this company called Capitalize helps with that. I wrote a review on howtomoney.com about Capitalize. There's a link to that in the show notes. Those are KFIN40.com/howtomoney.org. Okay. Organize your documents and your passwords. This is one I actually have that. I get to my password cord. If you're looking for a password manager that's free, Bitwarden is a great one to check out. Bitwarden.com, BITWARDEN. And that's like an open source password security website. So that's a great thing to do to get all your passwords organized, get your documents organized. Scannable is a great free app. Take photos, scan documents, make sure your significant other has the things that they need. So these are some free things that for your finances. I hope they help. I hope to see you back here next week. Don't forget to stick around. It's Lisa Middle He's coming up next. See you back here next week for more money saving info. I'm Joe Larso. This is How to Money on KFI and Music Sports. Phone, car radio, Martin, toaster, we don't care how you listen, just that you do. KFI, HQ2,
Los Angeles, Orange County.
live everywhere on the Radio app.
Preparing for problems. I'm Danielle Emoto, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The FBI is ready to respond to any potential violence if former President Trump was indicted this week.
This man obviously has very little moral compass, and if he spurs on additional violence, it would be one further stain on his already checkered reputation.
Virginia Democratic Senator Mark Warner said Trump's warning of potential death and destruction is another example of his outrageous behavior. The grand jury in Manhattan observing the former president's role in a hush-money statement. Former President Trump's personal lawyer is distancing himself from Trump's attacks on Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg.
I'm not his social media consultant. That was an ill-advised post that one of his social media people put up, and he quickly took down when he realized the rhetoric and the photo that was attached to it.
Attorney Joe Aquafina said that posts on Trump's social platform showed what appeared to be the former president wielding a bat next to a photo of Bragg's head, which Trump as Manhattan DA investigates whether any campaign funds were used in an alleged hush money payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election. Aquafina said he's not a Trump PR person and is simply there to argue his payment for his personal civil settlement using his own funds. A man had been shot and killed at the Hard Rock Hotel Casino in South Lake Tahoe.
The center bar where the elevator was located, the gunshot that Charlotte Fire Department transported the victim to Barton Hospital, where he later died.
Douglas County Sheriff Dan Overly said a man and a woman were arrested about an hour away from the casino in El Dorado County. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby is defending President Biden's ordering airstrikes in response to a string of recent Iranian attacks on U.S. bases in Syria.
This was a serious attack by the militant group, and the president retaliated swiftly and boldly and significantly to deal with that.
Kirby says there would be a response to the three follow-up attacks by militant groups, one of which is another service member. Kirby did not rule out further military action. Roughly 4,000 homeless people have been moved indoors since Sharon Bassett began her term as LA mayor.
The majority of those houses were moved inside some programs that existed before Bassett's office. Around 1,000 people were housed in Bassett's inside state programs. The mayor said she's working to fix some challenges she's discovered since taking over in December.
First and foremost, the motel cost and availability is expensive. It's too expensive. It's not sustainable. We have to figure out the cheaper model of interim housing.
The mayor's office says it's confident Mayor Bass will reach her goal of housing 17,000 people in her first year. Blake Trolley, KFI News.
New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is defending TikTok. She posted her first video on TikTok yesterday to show her support and calls for data protection laws.
Our first priority should be in protecting your ability to exist without social media companies harvesting and modifying every single piece of data about you, and without your consent.
Because the government needs to pass laws that protect users' data instead of banning individual social media sites. Both Republicans and Democrats recently questioned the head of the Chinese-owned company during a congressional hearing, which looked into concerns over national security. A passenger gets an official pat on the back for stopping an attack. A passenger on board a United flight from Los Angeles to Boston who helped tackle a man trying to stab a flight attendant with a broken spoon has been honored by his hometown police department. Jeff New is a former bouncer who now works for a software company. He received a Citizen Award Friday from the Exeter, New Hampshire Police Department following the March 8th flight, in which the guy who tried to stab the flight attendant also tried to open an emergency door mid-flight. Neil says he doesn't consider himself a hero. He was just at the right place at the right time. Amy King, KFI News. That's to Azusa Weather Express on the 210.
Big backup right now on the Foothill Freeway, the 210 westbound at Citrus, cross lane blocked by a Fast stop and go from Lone Hill, Ontario. So it works on the 10 west from Milliken to Vineyard. Also, you can make your way through Griffith's Park portion of the 134 east on Riverside Drive. Fast lane has been stop and go from Buena Vista. And Porter Ranch delays continue on 118 west on side of Tampa. At our TRILLIONAIRE is right slow from Richita Boulevard. KFI in the sky helps get there faster. I'm Mark Eater. This is Michael Jr. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings. The Lakers have LeBron James back in the lineup for the first time in 13 games as they take on the Thunder. Phoenix Copley is the Kings' likely netminder for tonight's late half against the Blues. LA comes in the game at 94 points, 4 points behind Vegas for best in the West. And San Diego State is making their first ever trip to the Final Four after beating Creighton 57-56, thanks to a late free throw by Darian Kamalik. Up now, Miami versus Texas. I'm Andy Beck.
Hey everyone, it's Michael Jr. introducing my new podcast, Dojo, tackling sports, pop culture, and whatever else you can think of. Download and listen to the newest episodes from my show, Dojo, the podcast with Bradford, releasing daily, Monday through Friday, wherever you get your podcast. Portions of the following program will be recorded.
Southland weather contains about cool and breezy in the valleys of Inland Empire, highs in the 60s, chilly night lows 40s, more partly cloudy, highs in the mid to upper 60s. Features mostly sunny and windy, highs in the mid to upper 60s. Similar conditions tomorrow and Tuesday, cool, cloudy and windy, late in the afternoon as well. Right now, 64 degrees in Glendale, 63 degrees in Northern Delray, 62 in Lake Forest, and 65 in Tucson. We lead local. Welcome to KFI 24-hour news. I'm Jane Yamamoto.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Macro, as in macroeconomics. This show might lend of two things, psychology and the market. Those two things basically tied together give us the macro economy. We have regulations, of course. We have outside forces, such as technology, of course. We also have to watch the markets. We have to watch what earnings are doing. And if you remember from last week, and it's okay if you don't because I barely did, but still the homework was earnings reports for retailers, specifically for our fur baby pets. Not so great on that one. We're going to have that later in the show. Also, for this week, we're going to talk about artificial is to get rid of the scary and fake stuff. Let's not be too scared as technology that comes in. Remember, back in the day, the electrical grid was being built. It was a little bit crazy, a little bit chicken little, and that's okay. It's okay to, of course, feel like this is encroaching and this is yet another thing we have to learn and deal with and incorporate. But human brains, luckily, are really good at that. Artificial intelligence is going to help human brains eventually. That's not to say there's not going to be some bad actors around. I mean, deepfakes are real things. You can get an 8-minute video for about $11, and it can be completely deepfake. That's been proven already. Bad actors are going to be just about everywhere, but they're already everywhere. So away from the scary and the super if we can. We also have the Fed. Okay, so the Fed picked up rates a quarter point this week, kind of as expected, with the banks doing what they're doing, which is still playing whack-a-mole with who's going to fail or not fail next. The Fed has to keep its eyes on the prize. They have a statute where they have to limit inflation and keep the American economy at full employment. Look, the labor market right now is still pretty hot. There are 2 openings for every 1 applicant in most sectors, of course, and we're going to talk about tech layoffs as well. That's coming up very soon. We're going to finish the show with what are we? We are not in a financial crisis like 2008 by any stretch. Warren Buffett did some stuff back in 2008 that I think is kind of worth swinging back around on to help us prep for it. And I'm not the only one. The Biden administration is kind of doing the same thing. Let's start with tech layoffs, though, because those have been grabbing a lot of headlines. Again, signal to noise here on macro, right? So tech layoffs, my concern here would be, are they actually a canary in the general employment labor sector mind? If you can cut tens of thousands of people from one industry and then your shareholder value stays the same, well, that says something, that's trust and things like that. But anything that wants to be a tech company, and most companies pretend to want to be a tech company, when actually all we're doing is piggybacking on the technology being created by that sector. But still, if you can provide shareholder value by not necessarily growing your revenue, selling more stuff, or building more stuff, or innovating more stuff, and you cut your bottom line by reducing your costs,
Well, that's a business model. That's a decision. And instead of doing those other things, which are usually the business model, in a tighter economy, a choppy water kind of economy that we're in right now, it seems to me that other CEOs and other industries are looking at tech and saying, well, if they can do it, why not us? So my worry here is that unemployment will continue to filter through the rest of the economy. Now, the banking sector doing its thing is an issue as well, of course. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about, I think that the recession is probably going to be light, if any, and it's going to roll through different sectors of the economy. Now that the banking sector situation has raised its ugly head, it seems that a harder landing of a recession is more likely by the end of this year. I don't think it's a long-term thing. A lot of economists agree with me. Nonetheless, back to the tech layoffs. If you take the math that Professor Galloway, and we have links in the show notes, you can get those at KFI AM 640. If you look at the math that he and his team put together, tech companies operate, let's say, at a 40% margin, which is huge, understood, but they have less overhead and they need less people to do what they want to do. But still, the math is stunning here, and we're going to extrapolate out from what Professor Galloway put together. He showed in his math that if you want to have the same amount of shareholder value per share of everybody who has an investment in your company, you can either grow your revenue $2.50, or you can reduce your cost by $1, hence the layoff. You can basically cut yourself back. Now, the tech sector got a little fat around the middle during the pandemic. They overhired, and now with the choppy economy and more people going back to work, staying home less and working from there and doing more fun stuff at home, well, that means that they're cutting the fat. Eventually, though, that cut is going to get into the muscles, and then it gets into the bones. And once that happens, of course, they will level off and figure out what's next. But for now, it seems like this is the way forward for the tech sector. It doesn't bode well for other sectors. Other sectors did not get as round around the middle during the pandemic as the tech sector, of course, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to be looking at this and thinking, well, tech layoffs shows that this year's business model might necessarily be cutting to profitability instead of integrating artificial intelligence or making new products or finding new markets or iterating stuff they already have. It's basically, to add the bottom line, we're looking at the potential for other business executives to look at layoffs as a viable option, something to keep an eye on. I know I will. We're also going to talk about the LA County employment situation. We have some fresh data in from the state, so that's going to be the drive-by when it comes to the macroeconomics here in California. That's in segment 4 later this hour. When we come back, we're going to look at artificial intelligence. We have the good, the bad, the scary, and the stupid, like I mentioned earlier. But the semiconductor company NVIDIA did announce the next level coolness when it comes to the brain behind AI. That happened this week. It's definitely worth mentioning because these headlines are going to keep coming about AI. It's best for us to be prepared. Okay, coming up next, we look at what we need to keep our eyes on this week. If our fur bases, our pets, are any indication, roll out if you're listening. Retail shares for pet companies did not do well last week. We're also going to peek at the jobs market for LA County. Our featured interview this week is about the Federal Reserve and how exactly personal and household budgets need to react to all of these interest rate hikes. We have the chief financial analyst and economist at bankrate.com for a chat about rates. We also veer in that conversation into whether or not we need to prep for a full-on recession later this year. Look, recessions are not cool. Even recessions, they don't last very long, relatively speaking. So, all of that's coming up right after these fresh headlines from Jane Yamamoto in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Police are investigating a shooting in South LA. A 37-year-old man was found inside a car last night with a gunshot wound. The victim was taken to the hospital in stable condition. Arson investigators continue to look into the cause of last week's boat fire at Oxnard's Channel Islands Harbor. The boat's owner was not present when the blaze broke out. And the fourth installment in the John Wick action series with Keanu Reeves takes the top spot at the weekly box office. Look at the traffic on the 118 when we return.
Hey, always Team Shark, if you are ready for that new dream kitchen, now is the perfect time because the best place for kitchen cabinets in all of Southern California, the Kitchen Store, is having this massive winter sale. Everything from conventional entry-level cabinets to literally any custom configuration imaginable, the Kitchen Store has got you covered. Imagine just one place to find every door, color, finish, storage option, hinge, and hardware accessory on the market. You'll find it all and more. Southern California's largest kitchen design showroom waiting for you right off the 405 in Culver City. And as always, it all starts with a totally free in-showroom consult with one of the kitchen store's expert kitchen designers. 12-month famous cash financing, pricing the big boxes, and happening right now, the huge winter sale. Start the new kitchen right by dialing 310 Kitchen, that's 310 Kitchen, or find them on the web at 310kitchen.com.
Now headed out to Porter Ranch in the 118.
So, John, as you head westbound on the stretch of the 118 westbound at the Tampa Avenue off ramp, you've got a crash off right. Been there a while, stop and go from Pursuit Boulevard to Griffith Park. Following continues there at 134 east outside Riverside Drive. The 5 south of Colorado, you've also got a collision there. And through Ontario on the 10th, westbound side, Milliken to Vineyard. 3 left lanes are closed off until 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's going to be very heavy, about a 15-minute wait. Stay up high in the sky, helps get you there faster. I'm Mark Even. You locked your cat up the tree?
Yeah, he's way up there. I'm scared to come down.
Hang on. Thanks, kid. Here you go.
Where did you come from? And where's your mouth and taste?
What? Oh, no, your mom and dad called up to clean out your shower. And
What?
they were up a tree, too.
Really?
Your tree was really clogged, backing up, and we have to stop that nasty stuff from invading your bathroom.
So you're a hero?
Try to be every day. We're rooter heroes.
Wow.
We make sure you live in a safe, clean house. Go on.
Thanks for listening, George.
It's what a hero does.
If you know how to charge in, call Zero Zero coming in for that 419 at RiverZero.com.
The sweat is coming. You can feel it in your gut. According to Time Magazine, major investors who predicted the 2008 crash see another on the way. Bloomberg predicts that the U.S. housing market looks headed for its worst slowdown in years. To hedge against it, there's only one asset that's safe, liquid, and has outperformed stocks 3-1. Rare coins. For insider access to coins with the greatest growth potential, there's only one place to go. Tangible Investments is America's top rare coin dealer, and its CEO, Phil DeGenova, is the undisputed expert on this private portable asset class. For over 35 years, Phil's coins have increased 10, 20, even 25 times. He's been featured on CNBC, the History Channel, and quoted in the Wall Street Journal. Get the only asset that safeguards your future. Let's just get a copy of the award-winning documentary, Why Money Became Worthless. 800-711-2800. 800-711-2800. 800-711-2800.
This is what you got. You just open up and get that. I'm ready to go. You just look the top of the play. Come on, you say. You got to go. I'm gonna let you know that you're COVID-19 season. Stop the illness from getting serious. And help you taking it easy. As soon as you feel symptoms. You feel like it. That's your way. You don't take any tea. You're going to stop it in your eyes. Visit youtube.org or call 833-422-4255 to ask for medication to treat COVID-19. Sponsored by the California Department of Public Health.
In this week's Marketers Report, we learn about the value of local influencers in uncertain times. From Allison Griffith, head of marketing at State Farm.
The economy is tough for everyone, and taking a step back and understanding the pain that your customers are currently going through because of the tough environment is really important. We have 19,000 agents across the country, and they understand what's going on in those very unique communities. iHeart has such a broad broadcast reach that it's local, connected, and for us to be able to touch customers with a local tool.
Every audience, live conversation, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company. iHeartMedia is your access company. Go to iHeartResults.com for more.
Is it getting harder to find new customers? After all, it's one thing to run a business and another to grow it, especially these days. But what if you had access to everyone listening to me right now? Access to all the customers in your area. As the #1 audio company in America,
iHeartMedia gives you access to all the customers you need to grow at a fraction of the cost of digital, video, and social advertising, with experts ready to craft your message fast. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. You took your $997 million as payout. The guy spent $25 million on a house in Hollywood. He has celebrity neighbors. He has one of them singing schools. And a guy on radio tells him, you can be dumb and lucky. You guys Intelligence live 4 to 7 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
I knew it someday, but I always make the same mistake. Yeah, always make the same mistake.
My name is Jason Middleton. We look at the headlines that happen all week long from business. It seems that they just rush past us like we're running through a forest when it comes to business and finance and the economy and interest rates and AI. Anyway, it's a lot. So we try to boil it down and give us the takeaways we need, the signal to all the noise that happens. Maybe some zeitgeist stuff, which is very zeitgeist right now, to borrow a phrase. Anyway, notes, show notes, go up every week at KFIAM640.com. All the links that we reference here, all the homework that I do during the week, and just a reading list